Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your June 2025. Can you believe it's June, right? Like, what the hell? Welcome to your June 2025 master video. So, this month, June is bringing a personal power surge, right? Taurus, this is a good moment for you with Venus coming home into your sign and Jupiter entering your communication sector, you're being asked to really own your voice and to reframe your worth. And also to set new standards for your connections. But it's not also all smooth sailing, right? There are some things that are going to need to be addressed. There's also potentially some emotional friction and maybe even some kind of financial flux that's really going to test what you actually value versus what you say you value. Now, with that said, I'm Raphael. Welcome to Radiant Reality. If you are a continued loving Taurus ball gang, you know Rafi loves ya. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. So, with that said, whenever I'm using astrology, it's always whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. And if you're wondering whether you should watch for your sun, your moon, or your ascendant, with these videos, because they're a combination of both, my advice would be to watch both of them. And the reason I say watch your sun and your rising sign or your ascendant sign, as it's also known, because astrology is really based around the ascendant, whereas tarot tends to favor the sun sign. Not entirely sure why, it just does. I got some working theories, but that's for another day. With that said, let's get straight into it. So on the first of the month, right out of the gate, Venus, your ruling planet, is going to come into a conjunction with Chiron. Now, you may have noticed that with Venus moving through the sign of Aries, because this represents, certainly for those of you that are ascendant Taurians, 12th house is it's the hidden self, right? It's about retreat from the world. It's about coalescing. It's about pulling in or away from the world. So you might have noticed that your energy levels were a little bit up and down. You possibly, been a lot more pensive, a lot more reflective. This is, and because it's coming into a conjunction with Chiron, this is about an old or a past wound, right? The 12th house, old, past, things that are distant, spiritual, even the base of your psyche, if you like. This is like an old wound that is resurfacing, but quietly. There's something that you're working on, over, or through on a really deep level of self. And it may be more tender than usual. Maybe you're more aware of where you've been, and also where you've been in your life and the journey that you've traveled, but also where you've been suppressing your pain, if any, particularly in love, in self-worth, right? Venus rules you. So when she touches Chiron in your 12th house, it is deeply karmic, but it's also deeply personal. An old lover, a secret flame, or some unspoken guilt around money or connection could sort of float to the surface at this time. Don't push it away. Give it space, right? You may need solitude at this time, not to isolate, right? But to tend to your own spirit in some regard. This is ancestral, it's private, and it's possibly liberating in some way. On the 6th of the month, Venus, your ruling planet, comes home, baby, into your sign, into your first house. When Venus comes into our sign or our ascendant, whether this is our sun or ascendant, she really makes us more agreeable, more beautiful. She enhances our beauty. She makes us more diplomatic, more harmonious. She smooths off any rough edges that we might have. This is your green light, right? And as if all of this wasn't enough, the moon is going to be in the sign of Libra, which for you represents your sixth house, right, of your physical body, your physical health and vitality. So this is not only your ruling planet coming out of the darkness and into the light and into the first house, she's making you more beautiful, more agreeable. She's enhancing your physical features. She's also, and after the shadow work of, that you had at the first with that Venus conjunct Chiron, this is a return to yourself. This could be a haircut, a wardrobe upgrade, or even just a deep breath that says, I'm back, right? This would be right on time for you at this moment in time. And that moon in Libra is ruled by Venus, who is currently in her own sign in Taurus. So this is a very Venusian time for you, and that moon is in a trine for you to your the moon will be in a trine to Gemini, which is in your sixth, in your second house. So there's a financial aspect to this potentially as well, which could be, which could be syncing up really nicely. And obviously, in your chart, the moon rules your third house of communications. So this could be conversations around money, around self-worth. It could be really that you're just ready to re-communicate who you are to the world now that you understand yourself at a much deeper level. On the 8th of the month, Mercury comes into a conjunction with Jupiter in your second house. This is the planet that rules your money, because Mercury is your second house. Sorry, Gemini is your second house. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. So this is the planet of your money in your chart, but it's also the planet that represents money itself. Mercury is money, not Venus. Venus is luxury and goods and pleasure and all the things that we derive from money. But truth be told, Mercury is money. And coming into a conjunction with Jupiter, the Lord of growth and expansion, this is a powerful moment because it's happening in your second house, your the sector of your resources, your self-worth. This could be blessings or opportunities that show up for you at this time, since Jupiter for you rules your eighth house and also your 11th house. The eighth house is a money house, the 11th house is a money house, and the second house where this is happening is also a money house. So there's definitely big things going on with finances here. This could be blessings that come through partnerships, shared resources of some sort, or maybe even a benefactor. You might receive unexpected news that really helps stabilize your financial world or expand it in some way, and ideas around pricing or what you offer in business or work, or maybe even just going in and saying to your boss, listen, I'm ready for that pay rise. You better get me this money. Okay. Like if you're launching something, this is actually a really nice day to do so. There might be a few things that you want to mitigate. Obviously, with electional astrology, I say that in a broad sense. With electional astrology, you do have to refine it to your specific chart. And I would advise, I mean, I can definitely do that for you. But I would advise if you're going to do it and you're serious about something and it is a big launch, then I would check in with an astrologer with that, unless you're, skilled enough yourself in electional astrology. On the 9th of the month, Mercury comes into the sign of Cancer. It comes into your third house. Your mind turns to your emotions, right? But it's sharp too. I actually really like Mercury in Cancer. It's really good for the memory, really good for helping you understand things at a deeper emotional level. And it gives you the power that you need to verbalize your emotions, to really talk about what you feel and, more importantly, why. It's a beautiful placement for writing, journaling, conversations with siblings, or anything around learning or local travel. This could be a time where you're looking at your car or your vehicle and thinking about what you want to do with that. Mercury for you rules your second house and your fifth house, and conversations at this moment in time may revolve around money, creative work, something that you're building for the future in some regard. Cancer obviously brings memory into the mix, so you can have a really healing conversation with a sibling, with a neighbor, maybe with, just a friend as well. Third house is mates. It could be a return to an old place that stirs something deep in you, right? On the 10th of the month, Jupiter, the Lord of growth and expansion, now also joins the party in the sign of Cancer. This is where Jupiter is exalted. It's going to be there for 12 months. And when I say exalted, Jupiter does good work in Cancer. It's in your third house. So this is going to speed up things like business, interviews, interactions, contracts. All of these things are going to start to really expand over the next year. Remember, this is a once in 12-year transit. Do not waste this. Now, immediately, Mercury at the same time on this day is going to be squaring Saturn and Neptune, who are in your 12th house. This is a little tricky because it's something from the past coming up for resolution now, and it may be something that really is quite tender. It could also be that there's a reality check from the past where you're not seeing something as clearly as as you really need to be at this moment in time. And I will say, watch out for emotional reactions with your words, right? Because it's like there's something from your past or some kind of Um, you know, some kind of inhibition, something's getting in the way here from the past, and it's blocking you from moving forward in your present in the way that you would like to on that daily level. And that continues through the 11th. Obviously, once Jupiter then moves forward a couple of degrees, it's going to come exact as well. So, right the way through, really, I would say through the 15th, it could be a little bit of a tense time. All right. So just watch out for that. Now, on the 17th of the month, Mars is going to enter Virgo. I love Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo is a dutiful little soldier. Your passions ignite, right? Mars is action, energy, passion, excitation, war. It's competition, right? This is you. Mars in Virgo is deliberate fire, right? Even though it's in an earth sign, this is a really stellar time for you to begin a fitness routine, to flirt more boldly. There's going to be a lot of that going on as well, to commit to a creative pursuit of some sort. I will say if you're going to do, like this could actually over the course of the next 4 to 6 weeks could actually be a really good time for some kind of detox on a physical level. If you're going to do something of a physical health and vitality nature, I would do it with people or friends. And it's also a time for you to confront unhealthy pleasure patterns, whether that's overeating, overgiving, too much of the boudoir activities, or whatever the case might be. It's just like you're putting pleasure in its rightful place rather than it sort of overtaking you. Mars is a surgeon in the sign of Virgo. It's very precise. This is not just hacking away with a sword, it's strategic, right? What needs to be cut away in your love life, in your creative life, or in your parenting journey as well, if you've got children. If you've got children, they could be a little bit more challenging at this time, to say the least. But there's also a chance for you to let go of something that maybe isn't yours to carry as a parent, and put the onus on your child to say, well, no matter how young or old you are, some of this you actually have to own for yourself. There's a strength and a precision here available to you, so I would use it. On the 21st of the month, the sun comes into the sign of Cancer. So at this point, you've got Mercury, Jupiter, and the sun all in that third house of communications. This is in the northern hemisphere, the summer solstice. In the winter, in the southern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. So this is a herald for what the next 3 months is going to be about. And the sun is attention, and your attention turns to communication, to contracts, to community, where you live, and like the fourth house is the home and the property and who you live with, but the third house is where you live as a location, right? So who are you talking to and why? You might get news really that shifts your focus in some way. Suddenly you find yourself craving deeper, more emotionally resonant connections and conversations. And it's not to say that you won't want surface conversation. It's more to say, like, does this make me feel good? Does talking to this person or interact with this person make me feel good? If it does, continue. If it doesn't. If it does not, then you know what to do. Adjust accordingly. This is a turning point in the year, right? So pay attention to what themes come up around the 21st, because they're likely to echo into the next 3 months. And also, the sun in your chart actually rules your fourth house of home, family, property, and real estate. So, the 21st onwards, there's probably going to be a big focus on home and living situation. On the 22nd of the month, Mercury trines the North Node in the sign of Pisces. So Mercury's in Cancer, it's trining the North Node in Pisces, and it's sextile to the South Node in the sign of Virgo, right? So this for you, Mercury will be in the third, uh, the North Node in the North Node in Pisces is in your 11th house of your friendships, goals, hopes, wishes, and visions for the future. But it's also what you build as or with a collective and how you fit into the collective. So there's likely to be some kind of important conversation around friendships at this time, potentially even the closing of a chapter when it comes to something that maybe you put time into and kind of realize like actually this didn't give me back what I was hoping to, and I'm ready to kind of cut my losses. A destined message arrives here or departs in some way. You might finalize a contract, maybe you close a chapter in your creative life, maybe you feel a shift in your social circle that actually sets you back on path or back on track. What you share now really does matter. Use your voice to heal, to build, to align, to really grow on that emotional level. And it could be that a child or a friend or maybe a peer really is a part of this narrative for you as well. On the 23rd of the month, Mercury is going to square Chiron. This is third house, 12th house stuff. This could potentially be a sting. It could potentially be a little unsettling because it's like a comment or a conversation really touches a wound that you didn't realize was still a problem. And it could be coming from, it could be a sibling, it could be a teacher, it could even be just like a passing stranger. It could even possibly be a conversation that you overhear that actually has nothing to do with you, but it really wrangles something inside of you, and you're like, well, shit, like that felt oddly personal. Do you know what I mean? Don't take it at face value, right? Dig deeper. My advice would be whatever is said to you is not actually the world or another person trying to hurt you. It's your psyche and the universe trying to say to you, this is a point at which you are unhealed and you need to move beyond it now. This square is really helping you identify the stories that you keep retelling in silence so that you can rewrite them. All right, it's time. On the 24th of the month, Jupiter goes Cazimi. This is the Sun and Jupiter coming together in this third house. This could be a brilliant idea that you have. Again, another obviously refine the chart, but good day for a launch of something that is third housey. YouTube. I mean, YouTube truthfully is sort of ninth house and third house. Podcast as well, something along those lines, something that you're sharing with the world. The Sun and Jupiter meeting in that third house is giving you a brilliance and a boldness, and it's giving you really incredible insight. If you've been wanting to pitch, launch, teach, speak, this is your day, right? Or certainly to at least set the wheels in motion. News arrives at this time, and it could be really, really important news. It could be a message that lands, or maybe you simply know, like on a really deep level, something now that changes everything. It's like there's a realization here. Something in your mind just clicks, and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm ready. On the 25th of the month, Mercury in Cancer will sextile Uranus. So you've got Uranus in your sign, in the sign of Taurus, in the first house. You've got Mercury in the third. Sextile is an opportunity making aspect. So you will have to do something with whatever is shared with you, or it could be that something that you decide on a whim to kind of share. It's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to put this out there and see how it goes. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, everybody's very interested in this thing, and it's like you don't expect it to happen. If you're going to go viral, make sure it's for something that you want to be going viral for, right? Sudden downloads, flashes of brilliance and insight. Your intuition is electric and fast on this day. This is a beautiful time as well for surprises, for breakthroughs or conversations that really shift your mindset in some way, especially around how you see yourself. And if you get an idea that feels like it's a bit too woo-woo or a bit out there, try it. That in fact, whenever Uranus is involved, the more weird and wonderful and wacky it is, the better, quite frankly. Try it. All right. Mercury rules your second house of money, finances, and resources. It also rules your fifth house. So this could be some inspired way of making money or some kind of creative opportunity. And it could also be if you've got children, it's possible that they say something to you that sparks an idea, and you're like, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm going for it. On the 26th of the month, the Sun is going to sextile Mars. So this is the Sun in the third house in the sign of Cancer, Mars in Virgo in that fifth house. This is momentum. right? Something clicks, a conversation leads to some kind of action. Again, it's a sextile, so it's just an opportunity. You will have to do something with it. A message sparks some kind of personal passion or passion project. You could have a really energized talk or an energizing talk with a child, because the fifth house is your children, but the fifth house is also lovers. There could be opportunities to date at this time, which could be a lot of fun. It could also be with a collaborator. It's sexy, it's sharp, it's productive energy, and I will say again, right pitch, perform, move the energy forward in whatever way you can. On the 27th of the month, Mercury comes into your fourth house, into Leo. Your emotions and how you feel about something, like, you will not be mincing your words at this time. You might be really funny with it, but I will be paying very close attention to my Taurus people throughout this transit, because Mercury in the fourth is helping you verbalize what you feel. It's also having you talk and potentially set up ideas, money, contracts, etc., around home, property, and real estate. But if you're a cross watcher for Taurus people, I would really pay attention over the 4 weeks that follow, especially because Mercury's going to go retrograde here as well. Your mind comes home, right, in some way, shape, or form. This is about thoughts, about family, about home, home-based business if you've got one, property, if you're buying or selling, all of these things could be a factor at this time. There's a great time to communicate clearly with family members, or to begin renovations if you need to, design projects, or anything that really helps you move into a space of being more you, right? Being in a space of more yourself. Just know that obviously that Mercury retrograde will absolutely be a thing, all right? So keep that in mind. On the 29th of the month, Mercury is going to oppose Pluto. This for you is happening across the fourth house, 10th house axis. Something to do with home and living situation versus the work and the career. They're squaring, like, not squaring off, they're opposing each other, which means it's deep. Power dynamics around home and family and career could reach a boiling point, and there could be a tough conversation that comes up around this. You may need to speak up to a parent. If you know, if the dynamic is good, you'll be able to navigate this. But if things are tetchy with a parent or an authority figure, this might be a time where things get a little bit heated. So keep that in mind. Maybe you realize that the way that you've structured your life no longer really fits who you're becoming. And so it's like, actually, I want to spend more time at home, and I want to, chill out more, and I want my home to be a sanctuary versus, I'm always out there in the world doing this, that, and the other, going here, there, and everywhere. It's going to be unique to you, right? But it will be interesting to see what the comments are on that. Be mindful, because Pluto brings transformation, but it's not always gently, okay? And then finally, on the 30th, on the 30th of the month, Venus begins her conjunction to Uranus, right? Now, this is a big deal because Venus is you, and in a conjunction to Uranus, it could be a surprising development in a relationship. That could be all kinds of relationships, personal, professional, or platonic. Since Uranus for you in your chart is the co-ruler of um, your 10th house of your career, this could be something about your self-expression or your relationships, or the two, that kind of, again, comes up for conversation. Venus in your sign is aligning with Uranus, and it's electric. It could bring a new romance, a shift in your values, maybe even some kind of bold change. Be careful, because if you decide, like, ladies, let's say you've got really long hair and you're like, right, fuck it, I'm going to get myself a nice little pixie cut. It's only a short transit. So after that transit has passed, you might see things slightly differently. But it could represent a moment at which you're like, no, I'm going in a bold new direction. Get ready for a surprise that redefines how you see yourself, but also how other people see you. Now, I'm not putting the lunations in these anymore, because The videos themselves are already quite long, so you'll be getting separate lunation videos from now on. And if you haven't got your space on the card blending workshop, what are you even doing? It's over the 7th and the 8th of June. I'm going to teach you how to blend, how to pull together the card meanings so that you can get those clear, flowing answers like I do. On top of that, it's going to be set over 2 days, 4 hours a piece. You will get the recording. It's not really a course or a workshop so much for beginners because I'm not going to be explaining the meanings of cards. I'm just going to be showing you how to pull meanings together, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you are interested in that, there's a link in the description box below that's going to tell you all about it, that will give you lots more information than I can, and I look forward to it. The first 20 people will get £25 off of the workshop, or that offer will end on the 31st. Stay tuned while we get to your cards. Hi Taurus, my bull gang. I hope you are having a fantastic time of it. Welcome to your June tarot section of your Master Monthly. Thank you so much for all of your incredible comments. I love that you guys love these. I hope they are serving you well still. These are the two decks that I'll be using for you today. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give these a shuffle. So I've probably already mentioned this in your astrology section, but I really want to remind you here, the card blending workshop is on the 7th and 8th of June. It is 2 4-hour sessions over the course of the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be super informative. I would love to have you along. There's a link in the description box below. It's going to give you all of the information about whether this is for you or not, whether it feels like something that you are interested in. I will say, if you don't have at least a basic understanding of the cards and their meanings and the structure of the deck, this is probably going to be too advanced for you. And because of the nature of the course and the amount of time that I have to deliver what is a lot of material, I might add, I won't be talking about the card meanings, right? What I'm teaching on this workshop is how to blend the card meanings to give really clear insights and fun answers to questions, and, you know, to look at spreads and all the rest of it. This is about how to blend the meanings of the cards together and giving you those kinds of insights, right? So if you are interested in that, there's a link in the description box below. As I say, it's a full weekend. The first 20 people that book onto it will be getting a £25 discount. So if you want to take advantage of that, you need to get in before the first 20 go, or before the 31st of May. With that said, for your key to the month, you have the Empress card, right? So the Empress is effectively you, because the Empress is Venus, right? So this is your ruling energy, shows up here as the key to the month. And what this tells us is June is going to be a month that is a lot easier, a lot more fruitful for a lot of you, a lot more potentially abundant, but it's also a time of growth and sustenance. This is a month that's really going to help you find your footing again, especially now that you've got Mercury moving through your sign, although, well, certainly at the time I'm recording this, by the time we get to the mid-June, it'll have already moved into Gemini, right? Well, give or take anyway. Now, that being said, the other thing with the Empress card, it reminds us that sometimes that the ideas or the things that we put forward are seeds, and we need to put them in what we would consider is fertile soil. So for your actions and options this month, you've got the 8 of Cups. So this combined with the Empress, there's an energy here that kind of says this month your actions are very much about stripping away and releasing whatever it is that is the hard, right? So whatever it is that is, and this isn't about shirking responsibility or, you know, just getting rid of something just because it's a little challenging. This is about really taking stock of your life this month and saying, you know what? this is not meant to be, right? This is hard, it's too difficult, it's causing too many problems. When something truly is for us, when something really is aligned, it happens very naturally, very smoothly, very easily, right? And then after we've had our sort of beginner's luck or universe blessings, that's when the challenges set in. And those challenges aren't to say you made a wrong decision. The challenges show up like that to say, now that you've got it, what are you going to do, and who are you going to become in order to keep this thing in your life, right? So this Eight of Cups suggests that this month you are releasing some things, you are letting go of some stuff. And with the Empress card, it's meant to be an easy process. So if you find yourself clinging to stuff this month, you're going to have a really solid conversation with yourself to say, okay, you know what? I need to be really honest with myself here and release or let go of what really isn't helping me live the life that I truly want to live. Now, in terms of the options that are available to you, there is a chance for you to get proactive about how you progress forward in your life this month. And really and truthfully, it's on you for how you use this, right? Now, for your communications and conversations, you've got the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of loss. It is a card of not necessarily conflict or challenge. This is a card of grief and loss and mourning. And so when it shows up with the Empress, it kind of says there is a beauty to the sadness of loss. Because when we feel that, you know, and this is something that I really learned after obviously my grandmother passing away in 2024, right, is that the price that you pay for the love and the laughter and the memories and all the rest of it, that sadness and that grief that you feel when somebody is no longer with you and they've been an important part of your life, yes, it's horrible, it's brutal to feel that. But it's beautiful in the sense that it's the consistent reminder of the beauty that you've had. So when it comes to the communication this month, you might find yourself reminiscing. You might find yourself talking about things that you love, talking about things that you loved and lost, and really, you know, going over these things in a deep way to say, okay, you know what? I love this thing, I had this thing, and I've lost this thing, but now it's time for me to move forward, right? It's time for me to acknowledge, okay, yes, you know what, I've lost this, but I don't stop here. I don't just down tools, right? It's time for me to continue. It's time for me to now start moving forward. When it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this with the Empress card, you could be mourning the time that you have, right? So it could be, let's say you are, I don't know, let's say now you're going into the world of work. And so this month you're talking about, wow, you know what, I'm going to miss being a student. I'm going to miss having so much time. It could also be with the Empress here that you feel that sadness, right? It's like, this is going to be the last summer holidays that I have before I go into work. This is going to be the last moment where I'm going to really be able to enjoy it. And so one of the things that I would say to you is, if you're a student especially, yes, mourn it, but be really present in the experiences that bring you joy this month. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, it is possible that a job could be coming to an end this month, but also another way that I see this showing up for you, it could be the end of a time that has been easy within your job. Now, I don't want to scare you, I don't want to fearmonger, but I do want to say, if that is the case, it looks like certainly for the foreseeable, your time may no longer be so easy, or it may no longer be so much your own. This could be that you get a new boss, it could be that you're changing jobs, and it's like wherever you're going, the workload is about to increase in quite a big way. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, similar kind of story. It doesn't look like for some of you, maybe if you've got them, you could be losing an employee. For others, the way that I actually feel this is coming through for you though, it's like the time that you've had previously where maybe you've been able to do a lot more, maybe your personal time hasn't been so interrupted by work. That sadly is going out the window. It looks like your workload is about to increase. So this is something that you do need to be aware of. Have the experience, right? Mourn for the time that you've lost where you've had it easy. But you know, that's life, right? It's the cycles and the seasons. You have seasons where you have to really hustle, and you have seasons where you can kind of sit on the sofa a little more and just enjoy the way that things are. Your time of resting and sitting back on your laurels and stuff is coming to an end. That hustle energy is about to start kicking in, so just be mindful. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this could be for some of you, I feel like this is a place that you have a lot of memories attached to. For some of you, you could be downsizing a home. You could be leaving the family home to purchase somewhere new. It could be that you're, you know, maybe you're saying, right, this will be the last time that we visit this destination, or, you know, something along those lines. Now, for your love and relations, you've got the Queen of Swords. If you are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, it's quite possible that on a financial or a material level, you and your significant other may be having some disagreements about what's going on with the money, what funds have been allocated to what, and what that actually means for the long haul. Another way that this potentially shows up as well is something that you see as quite a big deal. Your partner may be a bit like, okay, well, let's look at the facts. How big a deal is this really? And so it's like where you want the emotional experience of it and your partner's all in the mind, there's potentially some kind of friction that comes up because of it. So just keep that as a consideration. For those of you that are single and looking, it's quite possible that a Libran person, a Libra, a fellow Venusian person, may really catch your eye or your attention this month. And also as well, like if you are single, it may be through something to do with official, legal, or potentially even some kind of professional or academic sphere that you end up connecting to somebody on a romantic level. And then finally, for your love, for your money and materials, you've got the Knight of Cups. So in this deck, it's called the Son of Cups, but it is the Knight, right? So much water here. 8 of Cups, 5 of Cups, Knight of Cups. So much water, little bit of earth, tiny bit of air. There's no fire here. And so what does that tell us? It tells us that, you know, certainly there are some things internally that you need to sort out in the month of June. But one of the things that I would say to you is, if you ruminate or think or feel too much, you're going to fail to act. And really and truthfully, this may be what you are being invited to consider this month, is actually, you know what, I'm not going to think too much about it. I'm not going to procrastinate too much. I'm just going to do. Now, when it comes to your money, this is opportunity. Opportunity to increase the yield, opportunity to make more money. It's quite possible as well that a collaboration of some sort could show up. And this could be through friends, partners, etc. that you know. So it's like, really and truthfully, in terms of making money this month, it's not really about what you know, it's about who. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I would say watch out for your feet and your ankles this month. And if you're prone to water retention in general, be careful with this month because you could bloat a little bit. All right. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. This is not a diagnosis, just things to watch out for. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, if you're selling a home this month, you get a really nice, juicy offer. If you are buying a home, it's quite possible that you get it for the price that you're looking for. There is a dispute here. And I will say, if you hold too sort of much to my way or the highway, there's a possibility that you lose out, right? Remember, you've got this 5 of Cups here. So what I'm saying is you do need to be a little bit malleable. Hold to your guns for the most part, but also remember, so as an example, let's say you're buying or selling a home, right? You've got a number in your mind, you put that forward and they say, look, you know what, no, have you got any more in the tank? And they come back and say like, you know, we want another 2,500, right? In the grand scheme of what people are paying for houses nowadays, 2.5K is literally nothing, right? I'm not sitting here saying that it's nothing. Trust me, I understand, but at the same time, if it's something that you really want, are you going to lose out for the sake of such a small? Do you see what I mean? So you've got to remain somewhat malleable. Now, when it comes to home as well, the Knight of Cups is a beautiful energy because it means that you are inviting love into your home in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's through family, whether it's through friends, whether it's through a sibling as well, very possible for some of you. There is new love, new energy coming into the home that is truly wonderful. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. If you want to book your personal reading with me, there is a link for that in this description box below, and it would be my absolute pleasure. So with that said, take care, and I'll see you soon.